Hi, good morning. Today is day 4. We're still at Oceano Dunes in Pismo Beach. Look how much the tide went back. Super low tide right now. Comes all the way up here. So yesterday we walked down this way, did our little ocean walk, looked at a lot of clams, a couple dead animals. Today we're going to walk south down to Coreopsis Hill and find our giant Coreopsis plant. And along the way we'll see what we can find. Hope you can join me. Here we got a great blue heron. Usually you see him inland in the freshwater. This guy out here, he's hunting out in our ocean. Probably looking for little crabs. So here's one of our Pismo clams. He's still alive. He's gonna be digging in here, but take a look at this. Oh, here's a sand dollar. He's a type of sea urchin. He's dead. Great little patterns on him. But look at this, all these little holes here, these are all from Pismo clams. They dig in here, they bury themselves, like this guy here, the clam. This guy here, he's buried himself, right there. But there's a rule, he's got to be 4.5 inches, so usually you put him in your palm of your hand. So this guy's probably only 3 inches. We got some clam guys out here digging away, looking for Pismo clams. Look at this. Holy smokes. There's like millions of them here. Wow. So check out our brown pelicans here in the surf. There they go. They'll get in formation here. Little V pattern. Here's our pretty little sand dollar. It's got a perfect little leaf pattern on it. Little palm. Wow. Here we have a lone western gull just sitting in the surf. He's known as one of our larger gulls in California. So here's another one of our little sand crabs. He digs like a mole. He'll dig under the sand here and he'll bury himself. And if they're soft shell crabs, they make great bait. But he's one of the life support systems up here. So this little guy here, if you pull back his little snout thing here, all that, those are eggs. Little crab eggs. So check out this guy. Here's our granddaddy sand crab. Here's our little mole sand crab. Look how big he is. He's a Lephropoda occidentalis. He's really common up here at Pismo. He's got these big pinchers here. Wow. Little head, beady little eyeballs you can't see. And he's kind of beat up, of course. Look at the size of this guy. Him compared to that guy. This giant kelp or seaweed, this makes up these giant kelp beds off the coast. This is Macrocystis pyrifera. It's called a giant kelp, sometimes a bladder kelp. It's got this big long, I don't know, stem, I'm gonna call it stem, attaches to the bottom of the ocean, or a rock, comes up here to a bladder. The bladder floats, keeps all these leaves up by the surface of the water, help with photosynthesis. Otherwise the leaves get too deep and there's not enough sunlight. So this is really special. Here we have a little sand dollar, barnacle on him, and he's alive. See the trail here that he made? Kind of wiggling through the sand. We got another one. He's actually buried over here. This is trail. He's burying himself. See These purple guys, they're alive. But these other guys, like here, see, he's been pecked clean by a seagull. He's not alive. Here's a pretty mussel shell. Really beautiful pattern. Turquoise, shiny, fluorescent. Here's another one of our sand dollar trails. Look at this. Goes around. Goes around this way. All the way up here. All the way here. Keeps going. Keeps going. And here he is. Wow. This area here is the beach camping for all our off-road vehicles, ATVs, right up in the dunes here. Remember, you came to play, but the animals have the right of way all the way down. This type of bivalve here is called a razor clam because he looks like a straight edge razor. It's all shiny inside, opens and closes like a clam, bivalve. And there's a lot of different species, subspecies from the East Coast, West Coast, Alaska, down to California. And you got them all up and down the beaches here. Look at a giant flock of seagulls just came in. So all these gulls with the dark underbelly, the really dark orange bills, and dark legs, these are called Piermans Gulls, Laris piermani, and they're common out here from Mexico up to British Columbia. And they're the gull we have with the darker undersides, as opposed to the western gull, which is this one here. So they're pretty easy to identify. This shorebird here is a common curlew. You call him curlew, I call him curlew because his bill, it curls downward. Here's another great blue heron. He's out here in the surf and he's stopping for little fish maybe. Come up, maybe a crab. Oh, you got something there. So here's two of our mole crabs. So this guy's really hard shell. You need them when they molt. So he's molted, really soft. And this guy's perfect for bait. Catching a corbina or perch or something off the shore. Good for bait. Here's a really good size Pismo Clam. See my hand here? He's probably 4.5 inches. It's a legal size. And hopefully he'll bury himself in the ground and hide out. We got a rare find here, little golf ball. Bridgestone. I'll take it to my friend Gary as a souvenir. Here we have a little grasshopper. He might be a pallid-winged, fasciata grasshopper. He would make great bait to catch a fish. Here's a couple seagulls having breakfast. Let's see what they're eating. Wow, it's another carcass. So, is this a sea lion or a seal? I think it's a sea lion. We won't spend too much time with this guy. So this area here is blocked off. It's a breeding area for California least tern and the western snowy plover. And it's the back half of Oso Flaco, which is over there. And all this area is reserved for our pretty little birds. But here we have a whole bunch of seagulls. Down here, look at that. We got a ton of these pelicans. All of our wonderful brown pelicans. So this plant in our dunes at Pismo Beach, this is a Cacaili maritama. It's called a European sea rocket. There's an American sea rocket, and you find those out on the East Coast. But the European sea rocket is an invasive species we find out here in the West Coast. So he's a Brassicaceae, so he's related to like our mustards. He's widespread throughout Europe, but we find him here. Now this very pretty yellow flowering shrub lives in our dunes here. He's native from Oregon to California, all along the beaches. These barren beaches here, but he grows here rather nicely. He's called a Seaside woolly sunflower, Areophyllum stacadifolium. He's a Asteraceae. He's got these beautiful yellow flowers, but of course each flower is not one flower because it's like a sunflower or a daisy. This little guy, he's a buckwheat. He's cliff buckwheat or dune buckwheat. He's related to California buckwheat. This is Eriogonum parvifolium. He grows out here all along the coast. He's also called sea cliff buckwheat. So this little low-lying, sprawling dune plant, looks like a weed, is called silver burr ragweed, Ambrosia chamizonis, also called silver beachweed, sometimes just called like a burrweed. And you find these very common up here, always from like Alaska, even down to Baja California. This shrub here, now he's not flowering for us today, but he's a Chamizo Bush lupine, or lupine, Lupinus chamizonis. And he's endemic to California. He grows all along the coastline here. He loves to grow in these sand dunes. Now you've heard of California poppy. This is a special poppy. Grows up here in Oceano Dunes. This is a seaside poppy, Eschscholzia californica, variation maritima. Now the California poppy, of course, is the state flower of California, and this is the little seaside variation. So look at this pretty old flower. Kind of looks like a seaside poppy, maybe a primrose. Oh, it is a primrose. This is a beach evening primrose, Camisoniopsis chiranthifolia. He's got a bunch of sand on him. So we find him in California, Oregon, and Baja California, all up and down the coast. Well, we didn't make it to Coreopsis Hill for our giant Coreopsis, which is way down here. We stopped short. But we saw a lot of cool plants along the way up on our dunes here. And a lot of it's restricted, so you can't really visit them, but they sure are pretty. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.